A very good and energetic morning to all the students. Welcome back to day 3 of the PGDM Batch 2021 Orientation Program at Asian Business School. As the 2 days have already passed by, we hope these days gave some value and learnings to you. Let's start the third day on an energetic note. You all have come here with the big question, what will I do after this? How will I achieve that? And what would be the corporate world like? So today, under the lead lecture series, we have a very special guest with us who shall throw some light on the topic campus to corporate. Why I say our guest is so special is because he has on his platter the most exquisite experience of the forces and corporate together. We have amongst us today Captain Pranav Prasoon Thakur, Head HR Renault India Pvt Limited, an ex-Indian Army officer with commendable experience in managing the entire gamut of leadership and human resource management, talent development, change management, and operations management. Alumnus of IIM, Lucknow has over 17 years of extended expertise in human resource management and development and hands-on experience in project management. Author and publisher of novels, Those Unknown and Fallen Few, which are well appreciated by top army bosses. Worked profoundly in Jammu and Kashmir in counter-insurgency and counter-terrorism environment. He had trained officers and employees in various forums on leadership, self-motivation, communication, conflict management, resilience, etc. He specializes in strategic HR initiatives, leadership development, and cross-cultural sensitization. Without taking any further time, I would like to welcome you, sir, and request you to please share your such enriching experiences with our students.
Thank you, Garima, for your kind words. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you
audible and visible.
Yes,
yeah, right. Yes. So fine. Welcome and good morning, everybody. Welcome. This is your third day, and as Garima was telling, yes, today I will tell you something which will be different, maybe which they don't teach you at Asian Business School, and it is like 30 minutes me talking, you listening, and post that maybe I'll take few questions. And by the way, I'm there in office, so I will be closing this thing by sharp 11. So we have almost like 40 plus minutes to talk. Fine. So good. So beautiful days of your life, I must tell you. This is these days will never come. So though it is a digital era today because of COVID, but the college is running, and this is the best thing which we can do in this time. So a few things about campus, if I tell you, because you have entered there, and of course these few days will be the best days of your life, because the ultimate of your education, I think you will be doing here. Maybe most of you would be in MBA. So these 2 years will never come, and this is the pinnacle of your studies. That is one thing till the time you go for PhD and also that is one. Why also I tell you best days, because of course post some time colleges will open and you will be experiencing these so-called best days, because MBA, if I say, it is an experiential learning, and it is more required that people like me and various such forums happens that we give the experiences well beforehand till the time you take a plunge in the corporate world. So that is about the best days, and of course best days are not decorated and positioned properly if I don't talk on those emotions of friendship, love, togetherness, having fun. So that's what it is. So having told about the best days, one thing, if I tell you what the college days, the makes the limitation out of it is they have a defined syllabus, and the defined syllabus will be covered, and then you will take a plunge in the corporate world, right? And I'll be coming to the corporate world now in some time. So that's what it is. First is, okay, these are the best days of your life. You have a defined syllabus. You need not go and think anything beyond, because corporate is all college is all already there to take care of whatever you have to be taught and how you will be conducted in this particular time. Then few metrics which is there in these days are the marks which you get, and later the job which you end up. So of course marks which you get, and what level you are in, and what sort of development which you do to yourself will only fetch you the jobs which you want in the times to come. So These are the one metrics. If I tell you, the other metrics can be, how many friends you have, and or how much popularity you have in the college. So that is maybe the second thing, but it is not tangible, it cannot be quantified. But whatever said and done, if I tell you that these are the days of your making, I would not be wrong. Yeah, and that becomes quite important for all of us to give whatever we have in these, let's say, 2 years or whatever, the period of the education is there in the college. So having completed on that, the campus life, which I see, it is, and with the generation coming in, it is quite fast, quite fluid, and things are changing like anything, right? So that is one portion of the corporate which was taught to us. I'm not very old, but not very young too. So whatever I remember of the corporate campus life, I told you. Now coming to the corporate. So I am there in my board meeting, doing this discussion. And one thing I tell you, that this after your campus, when you plunge inside the corporate, now this is the actual life which you have. Till there, even if something is happening, not happening, things will be too much like in sync, and no one will tell anything. You have a defined time, that okay, let's say 9 to 5 or 9 to 6, or I don't know, 9 to 7 is your campus or your study time. The classes are there, and maybe the after classes which you guys do. So that is a defined thing. Every day runs like that, but here it is not like that. Today, if you want to come to office, and today something bad happened, you might not be surprised, and tomorrow you will not even have a job. That's how it happens. That's how cruel it can be, right? So one thing is, you after this you'll be plunging in the real so-called life, which will be for you, for all of us, right? So that is one. And of course, I'll scare you a little bit, and then I will make you comfortable. So let me scare you first, right? So number one is that. Number two is, there is no syllabus here. So it is your appetite, your hunger, right? It is your planning. And wheresoever you will be reaching post this completely depends on you, right? So no one will tell you. And many people in the organization, they join. And I remember, we are a French company. So we had a French GM who met me once, and he told me one beautiful thing, that Pranav, Indians feels that their general manager is like their fathers, that we will have to take care of their career. And he was laughing, that he had an appraisal meeting and some discussion he was giving me on that. Then I had to take a pause, and I had to explain to him the way we are groomed and being conducted from the childhood. I told, it's not about that he makes you like a father, but if you go the way we are conducted in our life from the beginning, from the time we start. So first is, when we reach the school, the teachers are like almost like the parents, right? So they have to take care of you, and if something wrong, then you will have to approach them, and that's how we are conducted. Or from there, even if you go to society, where or the neighborhood where we conduct ourselves, right? So you will have a guardian, or chacha, nana, tada, whatever, they will be taking care of you, and that's what we trust. There is a lot of trust in this in the tradition or the culture which we come from. Now, once we come to the corporate, almost we have the same feeling like anyone senior to us, and of course that's what we conduct so specifically, that even if there is I give an example, if a you might feel it, even if you college, if you're standing and if you're sitting, and if a professor enters, generally you leave the chair for him or her, right? So that's how we are groomed and trained, that's how we are. Similarly, when you come to the corporate, even if your boss or a senior manager comes, generally you conduct yourself in a similar manner. So it is the grooming, it is the way we are groomed and built and developed from the childhood. So I had to tell him this, and then he understood it, that okay, how it happens. But it is a lot of trust which I told him. It's not that we have some heinous ideas in our mind, and that is the reason we conduct ourselves like that. No, our culture is like that. So having told and understood, but this is a time of understanding that however you can offer yourself to the other person in terms of making the career, but also remember, in the corporate, there you will find good people, bad people. Not every guy will be conducting yourself in the right way, right? Many people will exploit you. right? And after some time you will not feel the way you should have grown, and you'll feel that okay, you have been exploited, and this is not where you wanted to be in your life, right? So that's how it happens. And I'll talk something about the midlife crisis, the way people move there. So having told that, there is no syllabus, you have to conduct yourself. Now the fact is, this is quite important. As I mentioned before, the much appetite you have, the much you want to grow, your life or your future will completely depend on that. Yeah. So if you are not giving 100%, your life will not become the life which you ever dreamt or desired, right? So that is one thing which I told you, and that is one thing which is very different from academia to the corporate. When we do this shift, whatever is happening today, we have Garima, or let's say Ravi sir or Himanshu sir, who will be taking care of you, but it doesn't happen here, right? So that's what it is. Okay, then uh, next thing which I want to tell you is, here you don't have any friends. Okay, so and things are moving, as even a culture, or as the society, we are becoming, with this entire advancement, with the entire social media, with the entire development, digitization, we are becoming lonely as human being. And this COVID time, it is quite evident. And where I'll give you some examples from my army days. We take things for granted, and I don't know. I had COVID in the month of September. Uh, it is a funny bad disease where you have to conduct yourself on your own, and you have to quarantine for 14 days or whatever it is, uh, and you are completely alone, right? So if you are not very comfortable with you, now things in life, if I say a typical millennial life, things are full, right? It is so much of social media happening, so much of Facebook happening, so much of Instagram happening, so much of WhatsApp happening, and many other telegrams, and I don't know, many other formats which is available, where a lot of talking, a lot of exchanges which keeps on happening. Now suddenly, once you are trapped in the situation of COVID, you though you do it, but the energy doesn't allow you. So somewhere, you are trapped in that loneliness, and it is many times we are not very comfortable with it. Now, as you come to the corporate, this loneliness will be very clear and very evident in front of you, right? Maybe these today, you have just joined, maybe it is second or third day, I don't know. In every college or school, suddenly uh, there's a growth of a WhatsApp group. Most of you would have made it by now, in which professors are not there, only students will be there, and maybe also and by now, if you have not got the specialization or whatever, so again it will be further fragmented as you get the specialization. However, this groupism will develop. But once you come to the corporate, and once if I tell you that okay, Renault comes for a recruitment, and we'll recruit one or two people from the entire lot, uh, this WhatsApp group will start splitting, and I've seen it, how it splits. It's quite painful, because all those people, all of those exchanges, the mornings, the evenings, those things, the Saturday night parties, and all those things, suddenly those best friends will become indifferent. Yeah, I don't know how many of you watched a movie, which is quite close to me, The Life of a Pie, right? And that, when this tiger leaves this guy, before that they used to be, if not, then you must go and watch it. Quite a very good movie. So when the tiger leaves this guy, uh, the way he summarizes that, it was so unceremonial. So this word called unceremonial will come and hit your life like anything. Like today, if for example, this thing is happening and we are joining, and there's a ceremony, there's an event, people are coming, Garima introduced me, and all those things happening, but life will never happen. Generally, the way we think our life is like a Bollywood movie, right? You'll have some background noises and people will come and dance for you. It doesn't happen like that, right? You will fail in silence, you will succeed in silence, and many times you will be on your own. That's how it is. Yes, you will have a family which will be quite distant, because you will be working somewhere else. You will be far from your roots for sure, and this will be quite painful. So let's say any Saturday, if you sit, right, and maybe by then we have our own ways of Saturdays. Maybe if we drink, have some beer, or maybe two pegs, we sit, or maybe we are just enjoying the silence with some music. Maybe these things will hit you, right? That you don't have anyone to fall back, and maybe those so-called friends, family, or so-called loves of your life, maybe it will be distance. It will be not coming that instant, right? So that will create a lot of vacuum, that will create a lot of loneliness. And what I want to tell you, that be very used to that loneliness. Means it's that loneliness is you with you. If you have understood this, I know that, in the middle of the week, Wednesday, if I'm talking this, it is quite boring, but it will come to you someday. And that's how the life moves on in the corporate, right? So in your successes, maybe you will put a post in LinkedIn or wheresoever, you'll have few people clapping, or maybe few people not. And that also becomes very evident, because in the organization, once you work, not every time you'll be in the center of attraction, right? So, we have such event like this, and maybe, you, okay, I'll give in one example. So Olympics have happened, and we are giving all these Olympians, who have won some award or even reached to some level, one car each, Tigers, we are distributing them. So this is one portion where, maybe marketing team is in the center. Tomorrow there'll be something else happening, and sales team will be in the center. And then tomorrow something else will happen, and product planning team will be in the center. And then there'll be a launch happening, and maybe the PR and com team will be in the center, right? So this shift of focus, the shift of spotlight will keeps on moving, right? If you're very used to, and generally in college, in the campus, we are very used to such thing that, the way we dress, or the way we come, or the way everyone strives that limelight. Long story short is that. But in corporate, it doesn't happen, because maybe even if you do whatever, the limelight will not come to you. So you have to be away with that limelight. So one thing is, I'm telling you, be very comfortable with that loneliness. Second thing is, know to work in darkness. And if you know to work in darkness, I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, it creates a lot of character. So if I saw somewhere in Facebook, it says, fast success builds your ego, and slow success builds your character, right? So these days when it comes, and it will come to all of you, right? Remember these things, that how you are building yourself, right? Is it coming as an ego, or coming as a character? So this becomes quite important for all of us to understand. Generally, whenever I connect to any college, first thing I tell them, all of them, that have you defined till now that where you want to go? Means, have you made the purpose of your life? That is one thing which we never do. We do everything else. And in many colleges, many MBA colleges, they ask you that statement of purpose. And we sit together with all our best of the writer friends, the English guys, and we write a beautiful statement of purpose, right? But actually we don't mean anything. It is only for the selection. Post that, we forget it, right? So if you have not defined your purpose, and that's what I seen in this COVID, which was very evident, that its life is not that till where you reach and how many stars you get on your shoulders, or which car you drive, or which house you live in. It is, what is the contentment you have, right? And I know this would be quite deviating today. You might not underline and understand this word currently, but tomorrow, day after, when you ponder this, those loneliness days in your balcony with one peg or two peg, or maybe just enjoying the music. So these things will come to your head sometime, that day. If you have not defined your purpose, it is the right time to define it, okay? Because life post this will be very fast, okay? And there'll be a lot of pressure, which I must tell you, a lot of pressure, in sense, today your family, they are just, of course, you are not earning today, so you are on their mercy, right? So long, it is the truth of your life that you are being paid. Whatever you eat, drink, dress is being financed by your family, right? Day after tomorrow, it will not happen like this. So after some time, it will say that there has to be a return on investment, and the entire business, even the family, and you'll be surprised, will be like that. So there will be expectations, and there will be, things will be put in front of you, right? That, okay, fine, enough. Now you should do something for your life. Those dear mom, dad, or brother, sister will come and challenge you that, okay, we have done so much, we have invested so much, so where is the outcome? So it will be quite painful, but it is the truth, right? And then, you'll be suddenly be in panic mode. Yeah, now let's do something. And let's do something. If you're not prepared and what you say, channelized your life, then you'll be start doing what? You'll start searching for a job and jump in something which is not the right. Now, these days, a lot of psychometry is a lot of things which is available, which which defines actually a person and which areas he should be going in. For example, if I'm a guy who's a very adventurous guy, and if I take a job, let's say in finance, and I'm just summing up the numbers and doing the sigma all over, someday it will be very painful thing for me. And these are the people maybe in the midlife crisis, they commit suicide, they had a bad marriages, or they run away, or something happens. Like these days, if you see, there's a lot of marathons which is in vogue, right? Everyone is running somewhere. The thing is that you are not running from anywhere, you're running from yourself, right? And that's why it is because everyone is seeking that achievement which they never had. And generally you see this when you hit this midlife crisis, 35ish, 40ish somewhere, then only you become very observant for this marathons, because your life is if I use this word, sucks, and you are not where you should be, right? Somewhere, I'm telling you, let me scare you a little bit. You took a job which you never wanted to do. You married someone whom you don't love, and of course, you have a family which is completely stressful and pushy, right? So now this is your life, and how will you live further? Many times I've done a lot of recruitment, maybe interviewed more than 12 to 13,000, 15,000 people. And we have a big technical center here, 7,000 almost people. I was heading the engineering vertical. And these guys, whenever they connect me post, they come in, and when I take them, I ask them same thing, that why you want to join this company. And then there's a lot of energy. You, sir, I want to do this, that, I'll move the company from this to, and I allow them the innocence, I allow them the effervescence, the bubbles coming from inside. After 3-4 years, and again they meet me, and I tell them that, okay, be very cautious when you tell whatever, because you will find me. I'm a boring guy. Generally, I'm a static guy. Generally, you can say I'm a loyal guy. Don't leave and change the things like this. And they meet me after 2-3 years, and they say, sir, this is not happening, that is not happening. One beautiful thing I came across, I was again hiring and for my team, and I met a girl from very good college, and everything was good. And then I was almost about to offer. Now she asked me a hike for almost 80%. And I was laughing, and I was telling her that you're HR fellow, that it doesn't happen like this. Maximum, if you change the job, generally you get paid at a difference of 20 to 30%, not more than that. So how have you come to this calculation of 80%? Can you explain? But she tells me, sir, I've come to this percentage because of something called batch parity. I told, can you explain me? I've never heard this word. Can you, that when I am from this college, and in this batch, all of my friends are at this level and their salary is this. So I also expect the same thing. I told that, no, someone, you took the first wrong job, and after that you kept on doing some wrong, jumps here and there. Why should Renault India should suffer because of this, and balance your lack of choices or decisions with a job parity delta, which is not justified, right? And no one will give you such thing as job parity. That completely the fact is, it starts from there, that once you sit in the interview, and your purpose is aligned with the company's purpose, and the plunge you have taken is in the direction of the career which you want. If it is not there, and if you have taken that jump, God bless you. You will meet me somewhere after, in your 40s, and you will tell me, sir, the things are not moving. Now, see, we do mistakes, of course, fail, take risks, make mistakes, that and all is fine. But till the time you control life, it is a life to be lived by you. It must not be lived by your mom, dad, sisters, mothers, father, bosses, all those things. One more beautiful thing, and this again, I tell you to scare you a little bit, it will happen to you in corporate, which is called appraisals, which doesn't happen in civil, in your academic days. So academic days, you have tests, and whatever it is, even if you're not good, and you did good in games or extracurriculars, or people will appreciate you for that. Here it is, appraisals are something which is sort of your assessment for the entire year. and next year either you get promoted, whatever hikes you get, all these things depend on this word called appraisals, which of course I know that someone will be teaching in HR this subject of appraisals. There are many things, and there's one more heinous thing which they say for HR, that we have made a bell curve, and we kill people in bell curve, and their career gets stagnated because of this bell curve. And it's, by the way, bell curve is not made by HR. It is a complete mathematical term, a Gaussian theory. It is not made by HR. But the effect of this is so bad, and the impact of this is so much. Like today, so first let me talk about. So thing happens, they give you that some objectives that you have to deliver by the end of the year. For example, we are a product company. We make cars. We sell cars. So let's say we have to sell 1.5 lakhs car for the year, and it doesn't happen, or it happens. If it happens, things are fine, all good. Can you hear me, Garima? Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So it says that, okay, you have to sell so many cars. The resultant at the end of the day, end of the year, can be two: either you sold so many or you did not. Now you did not, you'll have so many excuses that COVID happened, this happened, whatever. Maybe launch was a failure, but who will care about it? So at the end of the day, you did it or you did not, right? So there is no mercy that, ma'am, please, ma'am, 5 marks, ma'am, I'll fail it. It doesn't happen like that. Okay. So then if it did not, then you have something that the lowest level of appraisal, which is called below expectation, will be given. You will get no hike, nothing. And maybe you'll be in a program called individual progress plan, IPP or PIP, many organizations call it. And you will be sacked from the company in next 3 months if they are gracious enough. Otherwise, many companies, they tell you that don't come from tomorrow. So next day you don't have a job. And again, you are in your life is like, in the corner, starting from the scratch again. And many people get very sentimental in such discussions. And a lot of times it gets escalated to HR. And then it comes to me, and then I ask them the same question, that the same manager hired you, right? And today, if he has given you some rating, and if you are not okay, what happened from then to now? And a lot of discussions, a lot of emotions comes out that, no, this was not good and that was not good. And see, what I feel overall, the underlying statement is two. One is, if the person was not doing good, the right feedback was not given to the person at the right time, which generally happens in the college. Yeah, that if you're not doing good, of course, maybe Himanshu sir or Ravi sir will tell you that if you're doing like this, you'll not pass. But here, no one will tell you anything like that. Anytime they meet, and because the things, they're not your friends, so they'll tell you things are very fine, things are completely okay. You're doing a great job, but at the end of the year you'll be below expectation, because they don't want to create that lose that harmony, or animosity in the they don't create that animosity in the beginning of the year. Maybe you can call it a bad way of leadership, but of course different, right? So this ideal way of doing the things ends in the college. In the corporate, it is the way of doing the things, and nothing is right, nothing is wrong. Yeah, everything can be justified. And you see a lot of examples. Are there a lot of companies? They're ethical ones, they're non-ethical ones. People do a number of things, but at the end of the day, what matches your way of working? There are some things, okay, there are some ethos and everything which is given to us from the childhood. It is programmed inside us. But the fact is, did you define your purpose, and is it the thing aligned with that purpose? And I've seen many people taking various routes, many good guys becoming bad guys becoming good guys, because life teaches everyone. At the end of the day, it is like that. So long story short, these are the things which will happen to you. So one, how to negotiate it, okay, how to mitigate it in the right way. I'm not giving you gyan here. The first thing is, you must have a purpose. That is quite important at this period, that what do you want to do? And the purpose must be a journey. It cannot be that car which you want to drive, or maybe that house which you want to live, or that girl or boy you want to marry. It doesn't, the purpose is not that. The purpose of your life, I'm asking. Purpose of life has to be a journey. It has to be continuous. It has to be vast. The scope should be huge. So that is number one. Number two, this corporate. I thought that I should, the pious things are happening. You guys are just joined, so I should teach you the right things. So the second thing, is, what is your stamina? You have to build your stamina through this education they are giving you, through this, development they are giving it to you. Because these things are related to those bad days you will face in your life. You will fail. I'll not give you a cushy story that great things will happen to your life. It did not happen. So you will fail. You will have those bad days, lonely days, tough days in life, but how will you get over it? Yeah. So I had a boss, American boss. So he used to tell me that, Pranav, in those tough days of your life, just hang on there. Just wait, just hang on there for some time. The day will change, to the night will come to a different morning, and things will be different. The perspectives can be different. See the sun rising in the bad days, tough days. Get up early. And of course, I'm teaching you something which is boring, yes, but I'm a very, what to say, I get up quite early. By 4:30, I get up. So you see the sun rising, you see the entire, the world happening around you, a new world happening around you. It's beautiful, and it will give you a lot of energy, right, to fight the other days, right? So that is number two, that, okay, what is your stamina? Build your stamina in whatever way you make your release mechanism. If you just sucking in, it is coming in your head, and that is a time when things go beyond it. There is a, these days the word is very common, you get stressed. In army we used to call it, when we used to come from some operations or something, it's subjective term, but they used to call post-traumatic stress. So it used to happen for most of us. I never felt it because we used to have our own release mechanism. If you don't have a release mechanism, it will affect you very badly. It can cripple you also, right? You feel many people who get, so emotionally stuck. It's not bad, I'll say, to be weak or to break, but to allow yourself to be broken. I'm coming from there. See, we all are, human beings, of course, chemicals, all those things happens inside us. But if you don't know how to handle it, if you don't know what is your release mechanism, for anything can be your release mechanism. For me, it is running. In the bad days, tough days, I define it, I'd go for a long run, maybe 10-20 kilometers, sometimes even longer than that. I come so tired, I just go and sleep, so that is one thing. It can be writing for many, it can be dancing for many, it can be, reading for many. So those things, for few of us, it can be drinking too, but drinking, I'm telling you, it doesn't stop there. It sticks. The next day you get up with the same thing. So you have to figure it out in the ways, in the mechanisms which is healthy, right, and which is controlled by you. It is not based on something, right? Otherwise you'll also sometimes end up in a substance abuse, and you'll have to go to a rehabilitation center. It goes so bad sometimes. Know yourself, right? And if you know yourself, have the release mechanisms, life will be easy. And the last thing which I tell you, again, it is quite boring. Your happiness lies completely on you. Your contentment lies completely on you. If you're chasing some number, if you're chasing some person, if you're vindictive that, okay, this person has done this, and that's how the Facebooks of the world and the Instagrams of the world are so popular, because generally we love peeping in others' life, right? And if you are so addicted to it, you're not living your life, you are just living a metrics, you are living a reference, right? And that is not good. Someday you will, because everyone will have their own destiny, right? And people will moving in their own ways. So whatever happens to you, you assimilate it and you make your thing that are you better than yesterday? If not, then you have to push yourself to the next thing. But your happiness must not be dependent on what X, Y, Z is doing. It doesn't happen like that, right? So long story short, this is what I have to tell you. I wanted to tell you, and I will end with one sentence. To be or not to be is a choice. Today when you are in that phase of cocoons, right? Tomorrow you'll become a butterfly. So to be or not to be is always your choice. And if you don't know to make a choice, that is your problem. So with this, if you can figure it out, I'll be more than happy. I'm very much there in the social medias. You can connect with me in case of any time you're lost. I'm there. So that's what I wanted to tell you. God bless all of you, and I am open for any questions. Garima, over to you.
Yes. First of all, thank you, Captain Pranav Prasoon. So, sir, I think this little talk of 30 minutes probably was focusing on not just coming 3 years or 2 years for the students, but probably a very larger perspective of what 20-30 years from now would look like, and the challenges that can come, and probably a very pragmatic approach with smaller steps that these students can take from today, which is very important, as you mentioned, is have a perspective in your mind, have just imagine your journey, and just see what the ultimate goal is and how do you want to reach that goal. So I think students have gauged a lot from this. They have sent a couple of questions. So if we can start with that.
Yes, go ahead, please.
So the first question they want to know is that how was this switch from corporate to armed forces and back to corporate, and what made you do that?
So as I mentioned earlier, we all have our own lives and we love to make those choices. So that was a phase like any youngster. In my 20s, I wanted to do some difference. I wanted to make some difference in the society. But the difference doesn't happen that you keep on talking about it. You have to take some decisions, right? So I wrote the exam. I got selected first time, wrote exam, got selected, went to OTA, which is one of the toughest academy in the world, completed it. And I was there in artillery, 2611. I was very much part of it. I cannot explain everything, but beautiful, life, which I learned from there. Then again, I think that I thought that whatever I have learned from here, I should also teach others to do. So that's how the shift to corporate happened. And the entire summary, I have written that book, which is, if someone is interested, you can buy it. It's there in Amazon. Fallen Few. That how this thing changes. We feel that there is a movie which has come now, Sher Shah. It is now. I will not talk bad, but it is not the way it happens. Or maybe that movie which came Uri, because they depict army guys as a superhero, some Avengers. It doesn't happen. We are normal general human beings. There's no difference between Garima, me, or Ravi, Himanshu, or me. It's normal thing, right? But our purpose is quite defined. We're very clear, right? Once you are there in the operation, you know that you might die too, right? So, but once you launch an operation, right, you know that your training is better than a militant who is coming from Pakistan or somewhere else, right? So you know that if even the worst of the militant is what Fidaeens who come to die, who have the bombs on their body. But also the worst of the army guys are called para commandos. We also have Balidan written here, and it's same thing. In the fraction of seconds we see in the eyes, and we have that thing that my training is far better, and I can kill you in 53 seconds than you can touch even do anything. So such is the thing happening. So it's not that we are somewhere something great, but of course the training, the learning, and that is what the focus I told you, that these days of your life is a time of making. If you don't take it the way it should happen, you'll be hollow. So I wanted to take a lot of learning, so that's how the civil to army to civil again happened. Yeah.
Well, I think we should get back to the book and definitely take the nuggets from there. Sounds very interesting, and something as a civilian, each one of us is very intrigued to know. So let's say that if Renault is hiring freshers, so what does the team exactly look at in a fresher in terms of skill set or attitude or attributes?
It's not only Renault. If anyone hires a fresher, what your life will be, or your in or out will be decided on that, let's say 30 minutes or 40 minutes or two interviews which happens, right? Psychometries will be a fad, but yes, that's how the face-to-face interviews which will happen. I will hire anyone for his attitude. This is again a very cliche word, but yeah, that's what it is. Because once you're in college, till now the best days of your life are happening. Maybe you have done good in your school, colleges, and that's how you have landed up in quite a good college, right? So that's how it is. Now from there you are 70%, 80%, 90%, doesn't matter for me, right? It is only matter. What will matter to me is, for example, in this time of COVID, if I take you. So if I take you, the fact is very simple, that are you a guy who just echoes with the problem or comes with the solution? And if you're a guy who is attached to that solution, right, things would be fine, easy, right? So don't ponder so much that okay, what they will see, what they'll learn. It's completely in you, that you have to be true, number one. And number two is you have to be resourceful. Now today is also a time of entrepreneurship, and people generally think that entrepreneurship happens outside the organization. Till the time you open your own company, it is not entrepreneurship. Here entire organization runs in different projects, right? I gave you example,
Right.
like we are felicitating all these Olympic guys. This is a project, right? And if I take anyone, even the youngsters, can you do it? And a lot of things will be happening involved in this. Connecting with the agency or connecting with the person, getting the person inside, seeing the cards are available, the colors are available, dispatching it, what event has to be there, all those things. This is entire small project, and maybe youngster, the youngest person of the organization will be given this project, maybe a person like you, a management trainee. uh, do you know how to conduct yourself in terms of a entrepreneur way? If you
Right.
are, then you are inside. It only happens. You have to think like a CEO of the company. How will you do it? Is the media planned? What is the next day the news goes in the electronic media, print media, whatever? You have to plan across. If you're that person, you are there inside, and people will love you for that. If you think that someone will, okay, again, like that GM, that someone will adopt you, take you in the hands and tell you, listen, son or daughter, the ways things are done like this, no one has got time and energy for that. And if you're seeking that, sorry, you are not inside.
Right.
Yeah.
So, since you are from the HR domain, so I want to know, a lot of students have this concept in their mind or the perception that HR probably does not have many opportunities for them. So let's restrain, or probably the start of our career would be totally recruitment. So we would have to sit as a recruiter for years into this profile. Can you throw some light on this? What are your views on that? And the new L&D, training and development, engagement functions that are coming in, do they employ freshers as well?
Yeah, of course, I can outsell my department for sure. See, first thing is you should have that love for people, passion for people. I call it like that. Love for people. You do it here, you'll be sacked tomorrow. So passion for people. Yeah. So that people element. You know what? Uh, like it is. I say HR is like a mother. Okay.
Mhm.
Before coming to various segments of HR is like a mother. Okay. Any guy, he's frustrated, he's not things are not moving, something happened in his family. Many times they will come with all the secrets to you, and they'll tell you, this is my wife is not, this is my, I'm having a breakup, I'm having, all those things will happen to you, right? So it's not that heinous. You have to take it the way it is, right? So we are the guys, actually, we are those, you can say, all in one, like, the operation guys, the psychologists, the doctors, the who give you the job, who progress you, develop you, all those things happens together. This is a very contended job, and also at the same time you're like a police guy, who also, at some indiscipline happens, you have to sack a person, some sexual harassment happens, some power harassment happens, you have to take proper calls on that, right? So you have to be a guy with a lot of integrity. Yeah. And of course, it is a very strong profile, actually. Now many organizations will tell you, at the time of COVID, we were running the organization, because you have to close the
Right.
office, open the office, there's a disease outside, you have to take care of them. So that's what. So different fragments or different domains of HR. So one is talent acquisition, is one of it, that you take people inside, right? You orient them, make them comfortable. That is one thing which you see generally, which interfaces with you, right? The second thing is the entire development. And these, of course, all these people will do MBA in HR. Of course, there's no doubts about it. But we can conduct the entire organization inside. There are all the there if you see one concept which is coming, which is last 10-12 years, it is very common, which is called HR business partnering. Now he's a person which is like a sole HR for that particular, maybe, that division, department, whatever you call it. For example, you'll have someone in HR, you'll have a HR guy for HR guy for IT, HR guy for, and these are very strong people. They are as good as a strong head HR, you can say. So you should have all the domain knowledge, but jack of all trades, like if I tell you. Then you'll have the dedicated L&D person, whose specialization is development. So how do you develop? For example, IT guy is completely different from engineering guy, right? And there, as I told you, there is no syllabus. So do you have a flair for that? Many organizations have their own academies, all of them, most of them, actually, if you say the good global colleges. So how will you develop them? Because see, at some time, organization get quite cluttered, and your life will be quite stagnated. So you want to push it further. So you want those people. Then you have the talent management guys, all this entire structure, who can be the next MD, who can be the next VP, who can be the next department head, all those people. So there is a lot of assessments which are there, right? These all are quite heavily costed, psychometry tests which happens, and we develop you. So all these, you say that, campus, intervention which happens, like someone does in ISB, all this. So these are the guys who handle it, right? Then you have engagement guys, who engages people, all those dance drama, whatever you see that, you do it. Then you will have the COEs in that. You'll have, for example, the comp and ben who does the entire analysis, understanding of the entire payroll, the new compliances of the government, and also that is a quite a specialized role. So if I quickly then if you're working in plant and all, then you have a typical ER role which negotiates with this labor unions. And also this is the entire spread. You can choose anything, and I must tell you, if you have the passion of people, this is quite a good, because what you take home is you're given job. When I say proudly, I've given job to so many people. Right? If I come to these colleges, let's say, I don't know how many of you are here today, more than 70,000 employees, I have given them the gyan of how to conduct themselves. Even 1% they remember. So it is a quite an enriching and great contented feeling. That's what I say.
Right. So I think that that conception should go away. And my first part of this question was, do freshers also get a chance to work on different aspects barring the recruitment role, or they need to start with recruitments first?
No, nothing like that. Even we are taking people at all the levels. Even they come as HRBP, they come as even competent. It's completely fine. It depends on how much have you. I'll ask you 20 questions, you run away, then it is not fine, right?
Right.
Yeah. But yes, HR is not only recruitment. This is funny.
Great. What changes have you observed over the past couple of years in the industry, and what do you predict the changing trends would be like in the coming years in terms of generic employment and profiles?
See, one thing is I'll not say, I'll just mention what I see the difference in COVID. One is a lot of pushes towards entrepreneurship, and everyone today in the society, they're coming in that direction. But as I mentioned, remember that entrepreneurship also exists inside the organization. It's not always outside the organization. That is one. A lot of new ways of working is being discussed and pondered upon. That what is the future? The gig economy is talked about. That do we have such spread of mixed workforce coming into picture, the hybrid work structure which is being spoken. So if I say quickly, these are the things which is quite observant. But what I feel that, see, human animal, they have a way of working. Yeah, if I make it completely digital, I'll take out the contentment inside, outside from. I give you a career, but I'll take the contentment. It doesn't happen. All of us want to sit, in an office and work, and then they have a different synergy happening at the time of, the meetings, in the cafeterias, and when you were transported, all those things, right? So that thing will be taken out from me. So if I see that, they say that if the future of the academia is online courses, will not be there. Of course, there'll be a college, and of course, people will go there to study. Similarly, of course, there'll be a physical organization, and of course, people will come and work. So this is what I see. Yeah.
Right. Great. So you mentioned that we would cut it sharp at 11.
Yeah.
We have other questions as well. Do we have more time with you?
Maybe one last question we can do.
Okay, great. So I think we'll take a message for all our ABS students who are starting their journey, though the entire session was about messages and learnings. But since this is the first step, key things that they can ensure probably during these 2 years for a better future ahead.
So first is, as I told, make the purpose. That is quite important. The purpose building can happen, next to a sea beach, or next when before you're sleeping, go on the terrace, see the sky, and make your purpose. That is quite important. And then once you've seen, okay, it is like seeing your entire life from Z axis. Nothing can be solved from the XY, because there's so many things happening around you, right? You want to conduct your life like this, will not happen, right? So you'll always have to see your life from Z axis. See that where you want to move, right? And make a plan accordingly. And then you define your milestone on yourself. It has to be, life has to be planned. It cannot, but of course it is God's wish and all those things. But even if I'm telling you like this, again, let me scare you a little bit. If this is the end of the world, if wave 3 or wave 4 is the end of the world, you should die contented. No, oh my God, I wanted to become this. Whatever you want to become. No, what is stopping you? So it should be like that. Don't think that there will be someone who will be coming and giving you a job and your life will start after that. Your life can start right away, today. Or maybe has already started. So keep those things ready. And of course, I know today's generation is far smarter than all of us we are a bit slow and messy generation, but you guys are far smarter. And of course, I know that whatever you define for yourself, you guys will get it.
Great. I think we've had a wonderful session talking with you, interacting with you, and probably we would love to have another session in future as well, maybe in campus if times are good, and connect with you because students surely have a lot of things to ask. It was wonderful having you, sir, and it was indeed our pleasure to host you at ABS. On behalf of the entire ABS fraternity, I thank you for gracing us with your presence and would like to present a memento to acknowledge your presence here.
Thank you, Garima. Thanks a lot.
So that's
I'm
for you.
humbled. Thanks. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank
God
you.
bless you all. Take care.
Thank you. So students, we are meeting again at 11:30 p.m. sharp, 11:30 a.m. now sharp, because we have the Campus Connect starting at 11:30. So you can join using the same link. Thank you so much.